Now, being a parent of a special child requires a lot of grace and strength. And our guest today is here to share her story of her son, who is a living and breathing miracle. So you don't want to miss this. Stay right there. The show is about to start. Welcome to Unscripted from our beautiful location, Steakhouse on Manyani Road, Karibu. Good? Before you go? Yeah. Hi, welcome to the show. With me is our beautiful guest, Kendi. Welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for making time for us.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure. I hear you came all the way from Nanyuki.
Yes, I did.
Imagine. Thank you. We appreciate it. 3
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
You had your bundle of joy, your miracle son.
Yes.
Take us to that time. I'm sure you were excited.
Very.
Yes. Tell us about that time.
It was, I really had an amazing journey. Like my entire pregnancy period was really amazing.
Okay. It was healthy, no issues?
Yes, no issues at all. I didn't have any kind of complications.
Yeah.
I actually went for clinics because I have to go for clinics.
I see.
Yes.
Otherwise you were okay?
Otherwise I was very, very okay. Now until to the day I got my labor pains. I remember I had my labor pains at around 1 p.m.
All right.
I think it was on a Saturday, 27th April, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so when I had my labor pains, unfortunately I was sick like 2 days prior, so I had been admitted in hospital. So during this period I was just weak, like I didn't have the strength to do it. So when I got to hospital, they insisted on inducing me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just okay with it. Since
so you had started labor, but why were they inducing you? You were not
I had
dilating fast enough?
I think the previous night. So being the second time, they're just like, let's just induce you.
Okay. Were you due?
Yes, I was due. I was past 1 week because I was expecting my son at 20th and I delivered 27th. So I think it was past 1 week. So it was just like, let's do this.
Okay.
Yeah, so they induced me for the first time, which I was okay with because basically I didn't know about
what to expect.
Yes, what to expect. Yeah, so I think like 2 hours later, they examined me and I had dilated, I think, around 3. And they insisted on inducing me again.
Oh no.
So they induced me for the second time.
Thanks.
Yeah,
How was that?
The pain,
I know.
the pain it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being the second time, I was okay with it, I think, still. But then it got to a point, my mom really insisted on doing CS. But there was this specific nurse was just like, you'll make it, you'll get there, you'll have a normal delivery and your baby will be there, you know.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, again, after around 2 hours, still I hadn't dilated past 5.
Okay.
And they induced me now the third time. Now it became too serious and I was like, I cannot do this because I was too weak. Number one, I had not eaten the previous days. And also that day, I remember I hadn't taken anything. So I was like, I cannot do this and I am too weak. And I was feeling like I'm going to collapse, you know. I remember I had my niece in hospital and she was just rubbing my back and I was like, but then I am going to collapse the next minute. But I think the nurses, they wanachukulianga kama mchezo, I think.
Because they see it so much.
Yeah,
you're
you're pretending, you do not want to do this. You just want to go for CS, being a young girl, you know, you just want to do CS and get on with it, you know. So they were asked to go home and come back at around 6, 7-ish. So I was left alone. So around 6, my water broke. And I thought the moment your water breaks, this is it, like you're done.
Baby comes.
Baby comes. Unfortunately, again, I have only dilated 5.
Oh,
you know?
Still
at 5, I hadn't moved. And they have induced me 3 times now.
Oh, wow.
So it got to a point, I was just like, I became too chaotic. I'm just like, you guys are not paying my bills. Can you just take me for CS? I have an insurance, it will cover for all this. Can you just take me for CS? But now there's this one nurse who kept insisting, no, we cannot do this, you know. It took me a lot of grace to forgive her because I think it's someone I meet every time, the moment I go to that hospital. Yeah, so at around 7, they took me to the delivery room. But still, I had not dilated past 5. And they insisted on inducing me, but now this time via drip. Now this is the 4th time they're inducing me. So I became
and nothing could be done. There was no one else who could speak on your behalf.
I was just like, there's no, what are you guys waiting for? What do you guys want? You know? To a point I was just like, do you guys want me to pass? Or what do you guys want? Like, you just want to lose me and my son. What do you guys want? So being induced the 4th time, I literally collapsed. And I cannot remember anything that happened during
sorry.
that period,
Yeah.
because now I'm in too much pain. I was totally weak, you know. And now when I regained myself, all I was seeing is just nurses, oh, sijui mweke glucose, you know, all these things. Now I didn't know my family, they're outside the delivery room, and now they could hear like all this commotion going on.
They couldn't, or they could?
They could hear like
Okay,
there's something weird going on in the room, but they didn't know exactly what. So, but then my hubby had already arrived in Nanyuki because he works in Nairobi.
Okay.
So he's also insisting on CS, but now they're saying they can see the baby and the baby has already engaged, so they cannot do CS. No, I am not a medic, I do not know. But now these are things like I could just hear and just keep quiet because I'm at my end. There's nothing I can do, you know. So it got to a point like it became too serious. I know it was an emergency because what they could say is they went and told the rest, we are now going to save the mother and leave the baby, you know. And I'm just like, why? I have been insisting on this 3 hours ago, like from the word go, you guys, I need to do a CS.
I'm sorry.
If I cannot dilate past 5, I cannot. It is beyond my control. Yeah. So, yeah. So it got to that point, and I remember at around 8:05, at around 7:30-ish, they called in 2 doctors. I know there's this one doctor who saved the day, and he was like, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do episiotomy and then pull out the baby. You know? So when that doctor came, he just requested me, I just want you to push one more time. If you're not able to, I'll just do episiotomy.
Okay.
So when he came, that's exactly what he did, and in less than 30 minutes,
The baby was
the
out.
baby was out. I was just like, where were you this entire
whole time?
I know, you should have come like 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't be here.
But what state were you in and your baby as well, considering how long that took?
I was in too much pain that I did not feel any more pain. Like, pain was irrelevant to me. You know, like, you
How
know,
was your
that's
baby?
too much pain. So when I delivered baby, he didn't cry, but like he didn't cry, and he was not breathing well. So they placed him on my chest, and what I knew,
trigger.
yes, what I knew is the first thing, the baby should cry.
Yeah.
That's something that I knew. So I don't know, he wasn't there, you know, because he wasn't crying, he wasn't breathing, you know, it was that moment. So it became an emergency to a point they forgot me, and now all the attention shifted to my son, you know. So they put him in the incubator, under drips, oxygen, like everything that was necessary as per that moment. And now this one doctor who saved the day resuscitated Aidan for 1 hour 40 minutes.
So hang on, so from the time he was born for 1 hour,
yeah, he
no
was,
breathing, heart not beating, nothing.
He wasn't there,
here.
you know, and I was just waiting for, okay, time of birth is 8:05, what about time of death? You know, that was the only thing that was in my mind. And I was just telling
So you're
these
hearing
nurses,
everything that's happening,
yes,
you're seeing
because
everything.
I am literally, the delivery bed is here, and next, it's my son, you know. I was just there, you know, and now, being me, I had bled like so much, and there's nothing I would do, you know. So yes, they got some nurses, they took care of me, they cleaned me up and everything, and I was just taken. I was given a wheelchair and now taken next to him. And now my only plead was, you guys, you're the ones who made me get here, so the only favor you'll do is just call my mom and the dad, and then just allow them to see their baby before you know we get to that point, time of death is, you know.
So in your mind you had sort of accepted or come to terms with your
Yes.
son wouldn't be here.
I was just like, baby, this is it. This is done.
He's gone.
This is like 30 minutes later,
Wow.
and nothing is happening. He's not making any sounds, you know.
Wow.
There's no sign. And then they're just looking at each other. You see those faces they make. What do we do next? So they're just looking at me. They look at each other. They look at the clock. I'm just like, okay, can you guys just go ahead and do whatever you're supposed to do?
Wow.
You know. But now,
And of course you blamed them for this, didn't you?
yes, I do blame them because I feel like if they took it as an emergency from the word go,
Yeah.
plus I was still admitted in the same hospital, so they had my file and they knew I was not okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like from the word go, they should have treated it as an emergency.
So did they call his father and your mom?
No, they just allowed my mom to get in. They just allowed one person.
Okay.
So my mom got in, and it was so devastating for me seeing my mom cry, because we were with her the entire time pleading for CS, you know, so it was so heartbreaking, because literally my son is in an incubator. You wouldn't even see him because of the many, all these machines around him. He's just like a tiny being, you know, so you wouldn't even see him, you know. But then,
and how are you at this time? What state are you in?
I was just there,
knowing that your son may not make it.
I was just there, like literally I was just there. I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything. I was just there. I was just like a zombie. I was just numb, you know, because I was also in too much pain.
I know.
Yeah, so I was just trying. I didn't do anything. I was just seated on a wheelchair and looking at him and waiting for the next step.
So at what moment did things change?
I know at 9:45 he made like a slight cry, like just like a slight sound. I know everyone was like, "Oh, Fuchs!" Like everyone was just so happy. Okay, wow, at least we have him, you know.
Yeah.
And now,
what about you? How did you feel when you had?
I felt so good because I had given up. I had given up. I was just like, oh wow, you know, like, oh, he's here. Yeah, so like I had lots of thoughts in my mind, like this is done, I should just go home right now, you know. So the moment he made his first cry, it was not loud, it was just like, even the person who was outside the door wouldn't hear it. Yeah, so it was just a slight sound. I was so happy, and I was so happy to know that, hey, at least he's here. Tomorrow will sort itself out, but as for now, at least I know he's here and I'll get to see him, you know. So this went up to around 1 a.m. That's when we left the room. And now I was able like to see the entire family. Now when I get out of the door, I just meet like my mom is there, his friends, my sisters, my brother, everyone was there. And I just felt so bad because all these people came to receive my son and they cannot see him, you know. They just see an incubator with a small kid, you cannot hold him, you know. Yeah, so it was painful as per se. It was so painful having like all these people with you.
But after almost losing him and him still being there, I'm sure there was still some joy. Yeah, there's still some joy because they were also, it got to a point they were also told now we in a point whereby we're going to save the mother and leave the child. So them being 50-50, you know what's going on, and seeing the both of us outside coming out. Yes, it was something huge. It was more than a miracle to us. Wow.
Yeah.
So how is it now going home? Take us to, at what point were you discharged, and how was it? How was life after?
So we were discharged, I think, after 1 month because he fought for his life in an incubator for around 4 days. The better part is that I was able to stay with him in the same ward. You know, we were kept in an emergency room, so we were both, because I was also not in a good state. Plus, they allowed the dad to be with us for around two weeks. Yeah, so it was better. So he didn't breastfeed for all this time, so we did cup and spoon.
He couldn't feed?
Yeah, he didn't have the sucking reflexes. Yeah, so we did cup and spoon, and that's what we did like for the entire time, you know. So this sound he made, he cried like for 2 days continuous without stopping. Why? And then just one day, I don't know.
Hungry?
I didn't even tell anyone, he didn't even know.
He was just crying.
He was just crying 2 days continuous, and then all of a sudden he stopped completely. So
he never cried again?
Never cried again. Never made any sound again.
What?
Yes, so until around 2 months, that's when he cried like for the first time now again. After like 2 months.
How was that moment for you, not hearing him?
It was so sad.
Scared again?
Yeah, it was so scaring. Then later on I came to learn that if by any case he didn't cry, maybe he would have never made any sound in his life, in his entire life. Yes, because now at this moment I didn't know the condition that, so he suffered HIE, which is brain damage. Now, like lack of oxygen and enough blood flow. Now the HIE is which led to having no cerebral palsy. Yeah, so I didn't know, as per that moment, I didn't know that. Yeah, he was suffering from CP. Yeah, wow. Yeah. So going home,
we can pause there. Take that in. That's a lot.
I know.
I'm so sorry, Candy. But thank you for being here and sharing your
Yeah.
story. And Aiden is here, he's 3 years old, so stay right there and let's hear more about Candy and her sweet son. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. So after some time, it was
Yeah.
established your son has cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Getting that diagnosis,
Yeah.
for you, how did you take that in?
It was a whole, it was just a whole weight on me, like, this is it, you know, this is something I am going to live with my entire life. You know, this is my son and nothing is going to change, you know. So
Were you afraid?
Very,
Yes.
very much, because I also learned about it in a very weird way. I was I was in denial to a point. I never used to read his doctor's reports. I never at one point
You
ever
didn't want
read.
to see the bad
I
report.
didn't want. So we used to go for clinics with the dad. The dad remains behind with the pediatrician, and I leave.
Wow.
And I leave. So this one day I met, there's a lady who really loves me. She was like, I need to see your son's records so that I can assist you whenever you want to. So I went home, picked all the medical records, and now I'm at a sidebar. I want to photocopy these medical reports.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let me just go through them. The last report I read, I just started crying, because now that report was like, you now need to see a neurologist, and start immediately with occupational therapy, because baby has cerebral palsy, spastic. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Now I just left there, went to my elder sister where she works, and I just cried. I'm just like, I cannot believe my son has CP, you know.
Yeah.
I knew these conditions are there, but not at any moment I paid attention to whatever comes with a kid having cerebral palsy, you know. And now that's when my life changed. You know, now you move from depression to denial, you know, like nothing is getting better with time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
how did you deal?
Around 7 months, that's when I learned my son has CP.
When you were 7 months?
Yeah, we were around 7 months, but I had sensed, because we had stunted growth. He was, I think, around 5 kgs at 7 months. It's like a newborn. 5 kgs, kidogo sana.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go to
his growth was affected.
Yeah,
was stunted.
and the sitting, like milestones, delayed milestones. Yeah, we like had 100% had delayed milestones.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that reality for your son? How did you come to terms with accepting it and dealing with the depression? What did you do?
I think the greatest mistake I did is thinking I'm a strong person and I can handle it on my own. So most times I would cry, I would do stuff, but on my own. I would do things.
You didn't share with anyone?
I didn't share with anyone. But as per that moment I was to live with my mom, she would see I am not okay, I'm going through antidote, so she would try do ABCD for me. But now you see I am holding too much by myself. Yeah. You know, I think it got to a point it damaged me so much, but people, I'm this person who smiles always, so it is really hard for someone to tell I am going through something unless you know me that much. Okay. So yes, I had my sisters there. I have all the support, my sisters-in-law, everyone is very supportive, but it was really hard for me to say whatever I'm going through.
What was your lowest moment?
Yeah. That they will not understand. Someone may say something to me that will hurt me more
trigger even more.
I am hurting. Yes. So I think that's the greatest mistake that I ever did, dealing with
you
so
didn't
much
seek out
issues.
help.
Yeah, I didn't seek help. I didn't talk to anyone. You know, if I am not talking to the dad, I am literally not talking to anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you fear no one to understand you.
Yes, no, that was my greatest fear. Someone would just tell me stuff that I do not want to hear anymore. Yeah.
What was your lowest moment?
My lowest moment is seeing him suffer. Not breastfeeding my son was
It was difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Plus I did not get to hold him. I got to hold him at 2 weeks.
I see.
Yes, so
because he's in the incubator.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are moments that I just remember. I'm just like, no. And now seeing him suffer and I cannot do anything to help him is just a terrible feeling. You're just there and you can just cry. There's nothing much that you can do about it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Did you seek counseling at any one point?
It wasn't later per se, but I did later on in life. I did like later on in life. Plus my elder sister my sister-in-law, she really pushed me to let's do this, let's talk about it. No matter how bad I push her away, she always push. She'll call. Yeah,
we need that sometimes.
Yeah, so she's this kind of person who pushed me to the edge for me to talk. So I feel like it helped me so much. Yeah, it moved me a step forward. Because you see, like when you got to 7 months, baby would feed and throw up. He would feed and throw up every time. So apparently some of the food particles were moving to the lungs instead of the stomach. So we were admitted at Avenue Hospital for like 1 month, and only to realize that he had reflux grade 4. They call it GAD, grade 4. Yeah, so we had to do a surgery called fundoplication to repair the gut system. And he's only 8 months, 9 months, you know.
Yeah.
So then they said he would only feed via tube. So that again was one of my worst moments.
It's difficult that you have to do that every single time you're feeding him.
Yes, so up to date we feed via GT, the GT tube. Yeah, that's what we use till date. Yeah, so I think those are some of the worst moments that I have to experience. It's something that really affects him from time to time. It's something that can get out anytime. Yes, because as
the pipe
say,
that is.
Yes, as per se, like this week I've just been dealing with that incidences. Like I go to work and the nanny calls me, "Sasa, tube imetoka. Can you come back home and fix it?" You know.
How is it dealing with all of that? Such a young mom, so early, you know, on the journey of parenthood. It's not an easy one.
Yeah.
So to have this, how are you managing? Even having to leave him, I'm sure it's hard to go to work.
Yes, it's very hard because you get out of the house with the fear that number one,
will they be able to take care of him?
Yes, that's number one. Number two, I'm just afraid of that tube. I'm just hoping it will last the day, you know. Number three, you're not sure of, basically you're just not sure of so many things. But then I learned that every day is a miracle, and miracles are everywhere. You know, people you meet around are just miracles for me. So I live each day at a time, not knowing what tomorrow holds, but the fact that today baby is fine, I just live by it. Tomorrow we are going to sort it out and cater for it, because living with the fear of what happens today, what happens tomorrow, it's tiresome. It's really tiresome. Plus I feel like it's things I cannot handle. Things I have no control over. You know, plus I'm really grateful that I have a strong support system, friends who really come through for us, because it's still challenging financially. Yeah, because the medications we have.
And how many surgeries has he?
No, he's just
one.
Yeah, he's just been through one, the fundoplication one, which was not rightly done 100%, which I feel like will somehow redo it in future. But as per now, let's just say he's better.
He's better.
Yeah, he's
a day at a time.
A day at a time, and he's growing. He's growing. Like, at least right now I do not have to deal with weight issues. At least when he's not.
His weight is good.
Yeah, his weight he's really catching up from time to time. Yeah,
I like how you've said.
Yeah.
You handle a day like today.
Yeah.
Today he's good.
Today
Thank God.
Good,
about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's how ideally we should live our lives. Focus on today. We need extra grace and mercy for what's ahead.
Yeah.
So for you, what have you learned about yourself through this experience, as Candy?
As everyone says, I'm a strong person. Yes, I am a strong person, that's for sure. But I've also learned that sharing is not 100% solving the situation, but it is far much better than just keep it quiet, you know. As long as you have a good surrounding and people who can really help you and come through for you. Not everyone who means well, not everyone who sees it as a situation they need to help you, but I feel like the fact that you have 1 to 3 people who can listen to you, it is better than 9.
That's true.
Yes.
And you said not everyone means well. Have you gone through any stigma?
I have really gone through people who have told me stuff, you know. I'm someone who comes, helps you, but they do not help you with like a clean heart, you know. They help you expecting something in return, or they help you asking, you know, you just meet someone and ask you, uko sure una shida za hormones, uko sure kitu iko kwa family yenyu, you know, and you're just like, but I just keep quiet because what am I supposed to explain? You know, there's nothing, I cannot explain anything, plus I do not want it to stick in my mind, you know. Yeah, so day to day you meet people who are just
insensitive.
Very insensitive. Your friends, people just very insensitive, you know. And sometimes you just meet someone and you're just like, don't you feel like you're doing this alone? And I was like, what do you mean I'm doing this alone? You know, just some questions that you do not expect to hear from your friends.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So where have you drawing your strength from?
Honestly, it's God's grace. I cannot tell you where my strength. I literally cannot say, but I feel like it's God's grace every day, because sometimes I get tired for sure. Yes, I really get tired because getting home, I have to wake up in the morning, cook food for my son, prepare all his dishes for hygiene purposes, you know, clean his stuff. And when I come back in the evening, I have to attend his therapy sessions. And now that means after therapy, I have to clean him. So basically, you may leave home tired and get home tired. So sometimes I'm just worn out, but now you see him smiling, just making that smile, just everything, you know. Plus, I have a supportive partner per se, because he really helps me. Moments that I'm tired and he's around, he works in Nanyuki, but when he's in Nairobi, but the moment he's in Nanyuki, he picks the role. The evening role always. So at least from time to time I get time to rest and just be myself, hang out with my friends, do stuff that I would have wanted to do. Even though it's once in a blue moon, I'm once in a while,
but there are those pockets of joy in just being yourself, and just that sort of refuels your energy. Okay, let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm now Kendi. I'd like to talk about the milestones now. And end on a high. Tell us about the milestones you're seeing with Aiden every day.
So as I said, number one is smiling.
He's smiling.
His smile is just everything.
It makes everything worth it.
It just makes everything amazing. Number two, for the fact that he tries to lift, we just do tummy time and he will struggle to lift his head up. That's also a very big milestone.
He's trying to lift his head.
Yes, eventually he'll just gain his neck stability. Plus sometimes you see when I just give like 3 scoops of water, you'll see like he's able to swallow, you know, and this thing he's able like to, it's as if he's trying to consume something.
That's
plus
good.
he's also making sounds here and there, you know.
He's communicating.
He'll recognize the dad, he'll recognize the aunties, you know, the grandmother, you know, so he has his own way of knowing this is my grandmother, this is my auntie, this is my little cousin, you know, and he's just...
And the mommy, of course.
You know, my mom, not the grandmother. He has his own ways and they're all different. The way he approaches my mom is not the same way he approaches the dad.
Wow.
Not the same way he approaches the aunties.
I see.
Or even he has like a small cousin. So these are milestones that I really celebrate. And the moment akikuona tu kwa mlango, he's just overjoyed. He kicks over, you know, these beautiful moments.
And I think it's the fact that he's turning 3 this year. In and of itself, that's a miracle. Because what did the doctors tell you when he went home?
Because
what is the prognosis?
There's a time, there's one doctor who told me he'll not get to 1 year. Because I remember I celebrated his birthday, his first birthday, I think 27 days before. Just for the fact that, let me just say, I celebrated our first birthday. And I also remember the dad was also told, I think 12 months, no, I think 16 months. So we had different timing rates, but no one shared with the other. We were just waiting.
To see if you get there.
See if we get there. But see, we're here and we're going to 3 years. So I just feel like it is...
How does that make you feel? Know that you're approaching 3 years.
It's like, it is God, you know, it is God and he will live. I believe that he will live many, many, many more years. So it is quite a journey, but it is a journey that has really taught me a lot. And it's a journey that has taught the people around me that these things are not permanent, and in every situation, just look for something to be happy about.
That's true.
You know? Yeah, I take my kid everywhere. We go out with him. You see, we hang out with my friends with my side. Every time, as long as the weather is okay, we go for swimming. You know.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so the kind
Can he
of
swim?
energy. You know, I usually go with his therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's able to do now the hydrotherapy for him.
Good.
Yeah. So
does he like it?
Yeah, he does very much. So the kind of energy I give to the people around me is the same of kind of energy they spread towards my son. Yeah, so I just feel good for the fact that even my friends got to embrace my son and love him. Just go home, hold him, be with him, even when I'm not there. You know, it just feels so nice. So at least they have something to rejoice in.
That's true.
Yeah.
What can you tell a parent raising a special child today? What, from your experience, what can you share with them?
God above everything. Grace. It is tough. It is everything. It is a whole weight to carry. But as I say, just look for that one single thing, just that single thing to rejoice in and to appreciate your son or your daughter. Because if you do not, no one else will. Even your mother, even you better have, if you do not learn to appreciate your son, your daughter, if you do not learn to love them, trust me, no one will.
No one else will.
It starts with you as a mother, then it moves now to the next person and the next person. So do not give up on them. Do your part and let God do the rest. I do not know if my son is going to walk, but I believe he will. I do not know if he's going to talk, but I believe the fact that he's making these two little sounds, I believe that one day he will, you know. So let God do his part and we do our part. Yeah, there's nothing, we cannot go beyond a certain limit. Only God can. Plus, this love is all that these kids need. They just need love and positive energy.
Amen.
Yes.
For you, what helped you in terms of coping mechanisms? Because at times you'll feel like you said, you've come from work, you've had a long day, and you come home and you have to take care of your son, and you feel depleted. For you, what are your coping mechanisms when you're in that state?
Oh God, what am I
Do you pray? Do you journal? Do you talk to someone? What helps you when you're in that season, in that state?
Sometimes you're not even able to pray because, you know, for me, sometimes I'm just like, why him, you know?
I know.
As in, of all, plus during my pregnancy period, I just had like 3 of my friends.
Okay.
And I'm the only one who had complications, so just like, why me, you know?
Really?
So for me, music really helps.
Okay.
A lot. So I just feel like I am praying through this kind of music. So this is the message I'm sending to God.
Okay, and that's great.
So yes, so I think music has really helped me. Plus also talking. Right now I have learned to talk.
Let it out.
To talk.
Okay.
So even though I'll just call a friend and tell him baby's not well, 1, 2, 3, and they'll be able just let's give thanks. He was well yesterday. Tomorrow he will be better. You know, just need to hear just something positive, and then maybe it re-energizes you to do better for that day. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, just lying in bed. I usually hold him. I just sleep together. I just holding him calms me down really much.
Sure.
Yeah, so just holding, maybe sleep, and then I'll be back to normal.
And you're fine.
Yeah, so
it's going to be okay.
Small things.
Yeah.
But really make me happy by the end of the day. Okay. And also playing around with him, you know, he really doesn't play as a normal kid would, but just
he plays in the way he can.
Yeah, the way he can in his own way. So I just try like buying toys, we just play together, do things, smiles, whatever, you know.
It's a milestones.
Yeah, they are milestones, you know. Yeah, so him holding a shaker, you know, it just makes me so happy. So when I'm feeling low, these are things that I try doing. I'm gonna put him tummy time, and then we will just try watch TV together.
So you mentioned talking about it now in this season is helping you.
Yeah.
What do you want to achieve from this conversation today for that person watching at home? Why did you decide, let me share my story? What do you want to happen from this?
What I want to happen from this is that I feel like most special moms, we are held in a lot of negativity. I am in a certain group that we are all caregivers with kids
Okay.
who are suffering from CP. But all I see, I was just talking to a friend of mine who's called Joyce Kapi. She also has a son who has CP, and we were just discussing. It was like there's so much negativity in these groups that no one gives another person hope for tomorrow. Yes, we have kids in hospital and everything, but hey, there's something we can rejoice in, there's something we can be grateful about. So what I'm trying to spread is the positivity that despite the fact that we are facing this, despite the fact that we're going through this, let's look for something that can make us happy. Let's spread, some kind of positive energy, because like this group is something that I do not even want to open, because I know definitely there's something negative, negative things every day, every time. Someone reading things will never be encouraged, never see anything positive that comes out of it. So my main aim is let's spread some kind of positive energy. I would say there are those people who have like now not specially abled kids and normal kids. Let's try encourage them. It is not your will, it is not a curse. It's not your doing, it is God's doing. There's a reason. Just look for a reason why you have your kid like this. Like for me, for sure, I can tell you that my son has come in our life with so much blessings.
Amen.
In 1 year, I can count my blessings and just like, okay, for sure this is my son.
Amen. That's true.
So yes, he's sick, but if I look at my 1 year and
life has changed.
My life has really
for the
changed.
better.
The dad has really got promotions from work to work, from work to work within a short period of time. And trust me, this has come because of your son. These are things that look for something positive. So that's my main aim.
Thank you.
Let's learn to look for something positive in every bad, in every negative, in every sad situation. There's something.
There's a blessing.
Little thing that is positive and that will make you happy.
Thank you. Thank you, Kendi, for reminding us today that there's always something to be grateful for. And there's a blessing in every situation, no matter how dark it is. I think it's a perfect reminder in a time of still coming out of a pandemic. I think we all went through a season of what next, what about tomorrow? But it forced us to look for the blessings in our lives and the miracles, like you said, that happen every day.
Every day,
so thank
for
you.
Sure. Thank you too for having me. I am happy. I'm very happy to be here.
I'm sure you've talked to someone at home.
Yes.
You have touched someone's life. I know you've touched mine. God bless you and your beautiful son. We wish him all the best. God's blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you for having the courage to share your story.
Thank you so much.
We'd love to hear from you too. Please reach out to us. We'd love to highlight your story for the purpose of inspiring someone and just bringing hope, like Kendi has said. Thank you for making time for us. Special thanks to our lovely location, Steakhouse on Manyani Road in Lavington. We appreciate you and we thank you. Until next week, guys, take care of yourselves. Goodbye and God bless.